It's his brother. You're all psychotic. Lay off.
We just want to talk to the brother.
Sisters, talk to your brothers here. Be present in the moment.
Oh my god.
Yeah, thank you, sister.
Be present in the moment.
God, I feel like the Satterton sisters. Sisters! Come here.
This is my truly first Clubhouse Christmas, and I want
Is that a
to
vibrator?
thank you all. I'm gonna vibrate myself to sleep before I eat this burrito.
Why are you getting a burrito for Christmas?
Because the Chinese people said they wouldn't deliver to a Zionist. They know. How did they find out? They know. How did they know?
Oh my god, can you hear
Adrian
dolphin
Whitman.
sound?
Adrian Dittman.
I got an offer to fly to Israel to go fight with the IDF in the Gaza Strip for the cleanup operation.
Adrian Dittman. Adrian Dittman. Adrian
Oh,
Dittman.
I gotta find out if Elon's live. I bet you he's live right now.
Adrian
Oh my
Dittman.
god, Ryan, I found your song.
That's a good song.
Changes, because now that they had to do the changes anyways, now they come off with even more costs because of what they did.
Yeah, but they were trying not to get caught.
Well, yeah, of course, everybody tries to get wrong, trying not to get caught, okay? Like this thing is, Which one of us in this conversation is Charlie Munger?
Me.
Yeah. It's gotta be the super frugal guy. Who's the super frugal guy here?
Probably me, actually. I don't know. I mean, I do spend money on ridiculous things. Probably it's you, actually.
Exactly. It wouldn't be me. No, it's not me. It's not me.
Wait, what do you guys mean? Like, who's Charlie Munger? Like, in terms of personality?
Like, who's the Munger in this conversation here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure.
Actually,
So I'm probably more so the Warren Buffett in this equation.
I do too. So it's probably Molson. I don't know.
Yeah, she's right.
Probably could be. I don't want to be just like a fucking investor. I want to do stuff, you know? Like, I do have a big mouth.
Well, investor also does shit. He invests.
Berkshire Hathaway invested in TSMC.
They also invested in Rewind.
Real? Nice.
No, don't say nice yet. So they invested in TSMC, and like the next quarter, they like literally sold all their shares. And
oh my god.
And then they asked like Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett why they did that. And Warren Buffett basically says like, I don't feel comfortable with like the situation in Taiwan because it might get invaded by China. And then Munger's like, he gets to feel comfortable about whatever he feels like feeling comfortable about. So he was like literally like, you could tell in the conversation that Munger was really against the selling of the TSMC stock.
Dude, Munger was a huge cinephile. Like, he was really into China. He like bought Alibaba stock. He bought BYD. He like ran all his money through this guy named Li Lu, who's a Chinese investor dude. So I guess I'm Munger.
Yeah, makes sense.
So Munger, yeah, you could tell in the conversation that Munger was really, really supportive of the TSMC deal, and then Warren was the person that got the final say. So
yeah, but like after a certain point, it wasn't really like, well, like today, it's not necessarily Buffett buying the company. It's those two guys. They're both named Todd, or maybe now it's just one Todd now. Who like they're the ones who bought all that Apple stock. It wasn't Buffett. It was like, all right, I like get technology now. That's my understanding.
Well, it's Buffett who has to give the final say.
Yeah, I mean, so Buffett and Munger. I think that they said over the years their major blind spot was not investing in tech companies. Because traditionally they viewed tech companies as ephemeral companies that wouldn't last very long, and the companies like Google or whatever have fucked the trend in their minds. So they feel like that was a mistake of a mission.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Charlie Munger died like a year after they sold the TSMC stock. So there's like a joke that like Munger was so upset that they sold TSMC that he died a year later.
Do you guys want to hear? I have some good Charlie Munger stories. Like I went to his house one time and like I had some conversations with his secretary. They're like kind of weird. I can drop them for you.
Did you see the clip where of Warren Buffett where he's sitting at the investors table and he's like Charlie and like waiting for Charlie to make a comment and then Charlie's not there and then he's like, oh right, yeah, that was so sad to see.
Yeah, super sad, man. I was really bummed when Charlie died.
Yeah, he also really hated cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that's another thing that I felt like he got wrong.
Yeah. He called it rat poison and said that people that use it should go to prison.
I mean, like, you get like a free pass on stuff, like when you're 99 years old, talking about crypto. Like, dude was born in 1924. He's like in a wheelchair, has a glass eye. Like, you're allowed to buy a few investments when you get out that age. Alright, so here are my Charlie Munger story. So Charlie Munger was a huge hero of mine. And I was like, I want to meet Charlie Munger. I forget how I got it, but I found this like old article of like, hey, I like got his secretary's email. And then I like emailed him, I like sent him some books and some shit. And then one day I got her like her phone and I like called her up and I was like, hey, can I like talk to Charlie? I'm gonna be in LA. And she was like no. And I'm like, well, you know, like let me talk to Charlie. He like meets with people like Bill Gates and stuff like that, and I'll be in LA. And she's like, you're not Bill Gates. And then she hung up on me. And then another time I went to his house. Like I knocked on the door. I didn't really know his house, and this dude comes out, and I was like, hey, can I talk to Charlie Munger? And he was like, here's a pencil and a piece of paper. Write what you want to say, and I'll take it to Charlie. So I'm like, I'm totally unprepared for this. So I'm like, I scribble something and be like, hey, I'm a huge fan. I'd love to have a personal conversation with you, whatever. And so I write it on a piece of paper, hand it to like Charlie's like personal assistant guy. And then he like brings it in. He like comes out like 2 or 3 minutes later, and the guy just goes, he says no. And then like 2 years later, Charlie Munger died, so I never got to meet my hero. But he's the man.
You should do what the guy from SoftBank did. What was his name?
Masayoshi's son when
Masayoshi's son. Masayoshi's son. So Masayoshi's son, his hero was like the guy that was the manager of McDonald's in Japan. That was his hero. And he went there like several times, like trying to talk to him. I think like 20 times or something like that, 12 times. Some ridiculous number. He went there like trying to talk to him and he never like gave up. And eventually he agreed to have like a meeting with him. And he talked to him and the guy was basically like, go to America and study computers, electronics. And that's when Masayoshi Son went to the U.S. and studied electronics.
Yeah, and then his first big break is he's like in university, and he invents a digital translator, and then like patents it and sells it to Panasonic for like $1 million or something like that. Masayoshi Son's a really interesting person. He's like famous. I mean, this may no longer be true, but like in 2000. He was famous for being the person who lost the most amount of money ever. Because he was like really committed during the tech bubble and that shit popped and he lost a shit ton of money.
I think it might have been 2008. No?
No. When he lost all the money, it was the tech bubble.
Yeah, at some point he was the richest man on earth.
It was the tech bubble. It wasn't 2008.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, he's all about like the technological singularity and all that shit. Like,
I think he still has like the world record for like the most amount of money lost. Like he's lost more than anyone else.
I doubt it because there's just been so much. Well, I guess markets haven't really come down since we've had all the inflation, but for sure, like if we ever get like a crash in the stock market, there will be a new person, or it'll just be him again.
Might be, yeah. But you're not considering the fact that like it's also like stayed down, right? Quite a bit. He's not as rich as he was at the top.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Who cares, right?
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Fucking Steve Ballmer is richer than Bill Gates right now.
Yo, man, that's why you don't short Tesla stock.
Love it.
Bill Gates. Fuck Bill Gates. Oh man, why am I saying dumb shit? I'm just not. I don't mean fuck Bill Gates. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, I hate shit those.
He's all like fat. He's got this like weird body. Did you guys already hash out the freaking immigration thing that just like took over X on?
Oh yeah, we already discussed that.
I'm gonna get some late night racism. I've been denied.
Look, the problem is with like Western countries, like immigration policies. I think a lot of Western countries have a very dog shit immigration policies. I've seen like some very, very successful people that are very intelligent be like denied from Europe. They have to do like 50 fucking pieces of paperwork. You know, prove your money is not fraudulent. Like, okay, now that you've proved the money isn't fraudulent, you also have to prove that none of the investments you made were fraudulent. And then once you prove that, you have to prove that the person that invested in your business initially, their business wasn't fraudulent. And all this bullshit, you have to do like all this fucking paperwork. But they'll let it in some fucking
Yeah,
dude that doesn't have a fucking passport with no name, and they'll just believe him and say when he says he's like 12, when he looks like he's fucking 36. They'll let that guy in without any fucking papers.
It's the same thing in America, essentially, like with the border versus like if you like go. It's really interesting. You can like look at the visa wait times at the American consulate in India and various cities, and for some of those consulates, it's like fucking 10 years out.
The American one is like a gift from God compared to the European one. The European ones are like absolutely dog shit.
Why would you immigrate to Europe?
I know people. I personally know people worth tens of millions of dollars that would love to go live in Europe. They can't. They can't find any fucking visa to go there.
Can't you like get a visa like one of like the weirder countries, the EU,
You could
and like fucking Shenzhen it or something?
No, like the easiest one, as far as I understand, is Portugal.
Yeah.
Without any fucking papers. You can do like the D7 visa. That's what I've been told. But like if they want to move to like a country where they actually want to start a business, good fucking luck.
Yeah, well,
good luck.
Don't go to Europe and start a fucking business. How about that?
It's easier to be an illegal immigrant than it is to be a person that does things legally, which is very telling of the times, to be honest.
Exactly, that's the fucking problem. So, like, obviously, you can go to countries like fucking Portugal, which has like a visa where you can like easily go to, and it has like the golden visa. But if you like want to go to Europe and you actually want to hire fucking Europeans and start a business or whatever, the actual countries where you can actually do that, and actually start like a proper business, those countries are gonna make it a pain in the fucking ass for you.
Right.
right? But they'll let in some fucking dude that doesn't even have a passport, right? Doesn't have any paperwork.
And take the individual and who he is, his age and everything, he, she, whatever, at their word.
Yes, but
They have more trust
you wanna
in the fucking illegal immigrant that they're citizens, or even potentially somebody who could give them a lot of benefits.
Yeah, exactly. You have you're someone that has tens of millions of dollars. You
Guys,
want to
come on.
to start a company. You want to hire fucking native Europeans to fucking run your business and whatever. Oh, you need to give us 50 fucking pieces of paperwork, and when you do, it's not fucking enough.
Look, governments are controlled by different groups that have different incentives. The European people who work in the European government know that the freaking people who come over like across the Mediterranean in boats, like they know that's bullshit. It's just they just have a different system. Yeah, it's not about trusting or anything like that. It's politics.
Yeah, and that's the exact problem, right? So when you have this is my problem with the system, right? So you have people like that are having extreme difficulty coming into the countries for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And then you have those people that can just they take them at their word and they can just enter and they can get past it. Who do you think is more likely to commit the crimes?
Yeah, obviously.
Is it gonna be the guy that's managed to prove, right, fucking 20 times over that that every source of money, every investor he's ever had, everything is completely legal, and he's paid all his taxes on time and everything. He has to prove every fucking thing. Is he gonna go around fucking stabbing people, or is it gonna be the guy whose real name they don't have, whose fucking real birthday they don't have, they have done no background check on? Who's more likely to commit a crime?
My dude,
and then
you are preaching to the choir. Like,
yeah,
like
I know, but still, like, after this shit happens, what happens is that the native population is like against immigration, and then the fucking people that actually came in legally, properly, and like invested in the country has done more for the fucking country than most of the people of that country have done for that country. Their experience has been that it's a fucking difficult ass process, and everyone's saying it's like way too easy to get in. And then those people are gonna they're shunned because of the fact that they just came to the country.
Well, you're talking about this whole process like it's supposed to actually make sense. It's not. The reason the process exists is simply to slow down the flow of immigrants within the scope that they can control to the point where
it's not that reason. The real reason.
I'm saying the process is intentionally shitty.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even.
I don't think it's to slow down the rate of immigration. It's
basically there's things they can control about immigration. There's things they can't control about immigration. The things that they can control, they're going to manipulate that to get the desired outcome they want. I mean,
the problem is that the immigration policies are literally set to get people working for fucking companies that already exist in those countries for the lowest wages possible. That's what the immigration policies are actually going for at the moment.
Okay, I'll tell you the worst thing about all of this. The worst thing about all of this is that those people who show up in Europe and the US without passports, who lie, who are from the dregs of their societies in like Venezuela or Algeria or Ethiopia or whatever, those people are then cited as demographic growth. So people in the United States believe that our country isn't in a fertility or demographic crisis because of the people who are streaming across the southern border illegally. That is the worst thing about it in my mind. That's to me the greatest contradiction and the thing that pisses me off the most. Because importing bad people is worse than not bringing in anyone at all. It drives fertility down even further because when these people are fucking committing crime, it becomes harder to have a family. because your kids are more susceptible to that like crazy homeless person on the street than you are. It drives me
Exactly. Exactly. You look at a country like the UAE, for example, United Arab Emirates. If you want to immigrate there as like a successful person who's like run a business, it's very easy. They'll process everything within 2 weeks. But the fucking US and Europe, it takes months upon months, maybe even years, before they even run like a fucking background check.
It drives me mad. But the flip side, the contrary argument is that you do need like capable immigrants too, and people confuse these two things. Like you can be against like illegal streaming in over the southern border, and for like merit immigration. And people conflate the issues, and you need one. In at least in America, we need one, and we need to get rid of the other. And I think the issue is a lot of the policies are very clearly steered towards like lowering wages as much as possible for like companies, so they can hire like a lot of foreigners that they can pay lower wages for. That's what a lot of the immigration policies feel like. In Europe, I think that may be the case. In the United States, I think there's a slightly different calculus. I would say actually the U.S. is kind of the same with like the H-1Bs. Oh, the H-1Bs, but so are you comparing illegal immigration in Europe to H-1Bs in terms of lowering wages? I think that's somewhat reasonable. No. I wouldn't say they're all exactly on the same level. No, they're not on the same level. Like, even better, but it's the same idea, right? For the same purpose, lowering wages. So it's for the purpose of lowering wages for the companies, right? So I think like the EB1 program or the O1, those programs are like very well done, well run. Those are for people that are like actually can demonstrate like exceptional ability. Are they well run? I like. Don't they take like a really long time to be processed, even if you are like a super PhD in AI astrophysics? It takes a lot more than that to qualify for the EB1. But the requirements are actually pretty well defined. So as long as you meet those requirements, they'll process. I've seen people get approved for it in 2 weeks. So the EB1. So two things. As long as go ahead. Sorry. As long as you meet the criteria for the EB1, they'll process it pretty quickly. Okay. So first thing, illegals coming to the United States, I don't think that's to lower wages. Because a lot of the maybe it is. I don't know. It's unclear. The other thing is I had 2 employees apply for 3 visas to the United States, employees who are overseas who are going to come to the U.S. for training, and all 3 of them got denied. One employee got denied repeatedly, which was super frustrating because these are capable people who are absolutely going to return to their countries. Meanwhile, people are streaming over the border illegally. And this guy who got denied twice to come to the U.S., he got a fucking 10-year visa to China. So I'm more likely to see that dude in China than I will in my own country because he got a 10-year to China but couldn't get a B1, B2 to the United States on 2 separate tries, like with letters for me, everything. Drives me nuts.
That's a fucking clip right there.
Do you have a foreign office? No. If I'm understanding you correctly. Like we have like people working remotely in a bunch of different countries, but we don't. Right. No. If you had like a foreign branch, what you could do is you could do like internal transfer. I think it's called an L1 visa or something like that. If you had another branch in another country. So I heard that if you have an issue with your passport in the United States, one of the best ways to resolve it is to call your like congressman. And so I called my congressman's office, and they gave me the impression that if those people apply again, they can like increase the chances of them getting a visa. But I haven't tested it yet. Based on what I've seen, that's not the case whatsoever. Because the outside of like changing the immigration laws, there's literally nothing those people can do. They can like try, because I remember seeing a case where like this guy was literally like fucking dying
kidney failure or something, like Filipino American, and then like he was trying to get some guy from like the Philippines to come to the U.S. To basically give him like a fucking kidney transplant. And the fucking the Filipino guy entry, they wouldn't give him a visa. They just kept rejecting him, and he got like several fucking senators and representatives involved, and no matter who he got involved, they wouldn't let him in.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's one of the things that we need to reform. One of the many things we need to reform.
Yeah. The immigration is a very difficult issue because obviously you want people that are very intelligent. You want people that aren't detrimental to the country. There is obviously people that come into the country that like contribute to the country massively.
Well, I have a pretty good solution to it. So it's just 4 things. It's really straightforward. So first of all, we got to get the illegals out, not just because it's tearing the fabric of our society. It's like implying that laws don't matter in the country. It's a huge insult to citizens. Second point, you got to grant like seasonal work visas for people to like pick berries and stuff like that. There's probably insufficient labor for us to maintain our food supply. Third thing, get rid of all non-merit immigration. So no chain migration.
Hello.
Pick up.
Hey.
Please door. Where is door?
It's a red door. It's 5562 West Evans. It's next to the garden. On hey.
62. I don't know. Maybe.
It's on Edmond Street. I can come outside. Do you want me to come outside?
It's 52.
5562.
62. I don't know. No.
5562. It's a big brick house next to the garden. It's on the intersection of Higgins, Edmonds, and Central. It's a 2-flat. It's right on the corner. There's a big pine tree in front of the house.
English problem, but I'm here. Hey.
Okay, I'll come outside. I'll see if I can see it.
Okay.
You don't have to amplify it, but you can go check it out. Just it goes illegals out.
Yeah, no.
I saw a clip today from Jensen Huang that I found that I thought was very interesting. And Jensen Huang is like the CEO of NVIDIA, founder and CEO of NVIDIA. It was basically him saying that the reason that companies choose NVIDIA chips over like any competitors is because even if a competitor gave their chips away for free, it would actually still cost them less because of the ecosystem they've built around fucking NVIDIA. That it would still end up costing them less to use NVIDIA chips, even with the price they pay, than to use someone else's chips for free.
Oh wow. Why? I don't know anything about NVIDIA. Very little. I mean, I know who that guy is, but
just the operational expenses of. Let me see if I can find the exact clip so I don't like fuck up his wording.
I'm like really trying to watch a bunch of videos with Jensen Huang because he talks about how he doesn't do one-on-ones. I think he's got a very flat organization where like dozens of people report to him. He gives all feedback publicly.
16 reports.
It's like all this stuff that I'd like to do, that I'd like to learn more about.
Also, Canada might have a no confidence vote soon.
Really?
Yeah, apparently the Indian guy who like supports Trudeau.
Jagmeet Singh. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy apparently, since like that's the only like party that's like supporting Trudeau's party, they're saying that they're gonna have a no confidence vote. So that would throw them off the majority.
This guy's like a flag in the wind, isn't he? He just goes back and forth, like supports and goes against, supports and goes against. Isn't that exactly what's happening there? Because if I recall this correctly, that's exactly what Bro's been doing for quite a while now.
Well, he's been for a while now. He's been saying that he's not going to force Trudeau to step down, but he's suggesting that Trudeau steps down. So.
Yeah, but even before that, there was like support, then there's not support. Then there's support, then there's not support. And now we're at the non-support stage. So what's happening next? It's like time a flat circle. What's going on here?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
The largest drug bust in Canadian history was a bunch of Sikh truckers. Jagmeet is it?
Yeah, that's like the thing that falls right after what we just said. Like, bruh.
Wait, what?
Exactly. Your context-rich neurons picked up immediately on Canadian politics, then goes to Canadian drug dealers.
Well, actually, it was the guy's name is Jagmeet Singh, and he's Sikh, and there's like a huge Sikh population in Canada, and Sikhs are like getting really big in the drug trade in Canada. It's kind of interesting. That's what it was. So Jagmeet is like very like fascinating looking, at least for me. He seems to be like a big tall dude, and he's got like a very large, like colorful turban, and he's just like an interesting political character, like optically. I don't know anything about his politics.
The British Parliament has like I think at least one of them looks like that. Most likely, hang on.
That's another thing. Like they got like a Pakistani guy running Scotland. They got like some other dude, like a lot of people from the Indian subcontinent.
It's not a Sikh, it's a Sikh.
Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah, Sikh. That's what it's called.
That's why it's got that H on the end.
Yeah. One of my Muslim friends told me.
Is that who you trust on it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you gotta ask a Sikh, you know?
No, that's a pronunciation. I feel like part of it, it's like, oh my god, I was about to say something. I would have meant to tell you after this what I was about to say.
That whole thing is super interesting. Like the whole like Hindu versus Muslims versus Sikh thing in India. They're like very turned up over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Indians and the Hindus hate each other there.
And like the Sikhs are always alleging that the Indian government is assassinating people in Canada, and it's like it's just wild. There's like
Oh,
Khalistan.
I'm gonna send you something real quick. I'm gonna show you this. God damn it, man. Hold on. Let me find it. This is gonna make you laugh. Wait a minute. Bingo, found it. There you go.
Wow.
He actually fucking said.
Oh my god.
I don't know why, but I'm starting to. I really love this guy for various many reasons. Like this guy is just the more bullshit he keeps doing, it's like the more I start liking it. It's funny as fuck.
Right, so okay, so I found the clip, I think. So
You completely state-of-the-art chips. Is it possible, though, that you'll face competition that claims to be good enough? Not as good as NVIDIA, but good enough, and much cheaper. Is that a threat?
Well, first of all, competition. We have more competition than anyone on the planet has competition. Not only do we have competition from competitors, we have competition from our customers.
Yeah.
And I'm the only competitor to a customer, fully knowing they're about to design a chip to replace ours. And I show them not only what my current chip is, I show them what my next chip is, and I'll show them what my chip after that is. And the reason for that is because look, if you don't make an attempt at explaining why you're good at something, they'll never get a chance to buy your products. And so we're a completely open book in working with just about everybody in the industry. And the reason for that, our advantage is several. Our advantage, what we're about, is several things. Whereas you could build a chip to be good at one particular algorithm. Remember, computing is more than even transformers. There's an idea called transformers. There's a whole bunch of species of transformers, and there are new transformers being invented as we speak. And the number of different types of software is really quite rich. And the reason for that is because software engineers love to create new things, innovation. And we want that. What NVIDIA is good at is that our architecture, not only does it accelerate algorithms, it's programmable, meaning that you can use it for we're the only accelerator for C.
right, so eventually he goes on to talk about total cost of ownership, where he basically says that. So I'm reading it here. Benefits like time to deployment, performance, utilization, and flexibility are so good that even if the competitor's chips are free, it's not cheap enough.
That, the beginning of him talking, reminded me of that like Peter Thiel saying where he says that like if you have a monopoly, you talk about how you have all this competition, and then if you're in vicious competition, you talk about how you have a monopoly. And like, you know, NVIDIA has like a pretty strong market position, does it not?
Yes, especially in AI chips. But yeah, a lot of companies are making their own chips to try to compete with NVIDIA so they can kind of win off NVIDIA. I think each like H100 that they sell for like 30K or something, it costs them like 2,000.
हम लोग मेन फैमिली से तो लड़ने के लिए हमेशा तैयार रहते हैं.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They say that.
Okay.
I believe it was.
Hi, Karan.
Is that Danny in your PTR, conservative?
Oh. Hey, nigger,
Hey,
pedophile, nigger.
Oh, look who's here. Look, I was fighting with him
Sam.
today for you.
Oh, God, get this fucking ginger fucking
No,
kite
no,
out of here.
no,
We don't like
hold
that.
on. I was
Fucking
fighting
ass
with him
Mr.
for you.
Grinch.
Hold on. I was fighting.
Shut the fuck up, you salam alaikum. Go freaking rub your menorah.
Yo.
Go wear your
Hey,
fucking
Sam, we heard about all your dirty, backhanded conversations with conservative.
Because you were a drag queen, you fucking ginger pig.
Yeah, nobody is fat. I was like, have
You
you
look like a Dollar Tree Prince William.
Ooh.
Said that Roaches was fat.
I don't
Yeah.
You spotted him.
Not me.
I did.
Why are people being mean to me? I
You
just
can
wanted
have
to
one.
Why are you making fun of cerebral palsy people, huh?
It's Christmas with Down syndrome.
Oh, wow. You know this is being recorded, right?
I thought
Yeah.
that there was a room for people with Down syndrome.
It is, man.
Do you
Why are you here?
For everyone, this
Welcome
is
to
Sam
the short.
Rosen.
do you not have Down
Brooklyn,
syndrome?
and he's making fun of disabled people. If you want to contact him, his number is 619-555-181-195 Jenny.
Somebody got
I
rejected.
understand this room not for people with Down syndrome.
Sam, is that like a kink you like to play with your ex-wife?
I guess I came to the wrong
Okay,
room.
bye.
Sam, did you get divorced because this was your kink?
Do you guys have Oreos? Do you guys like Oreos?
What happened to you, Sam? No, I see. I forgot about the title.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
What's so funny, Ryan? Do you not like Oreos?
Oh.
Can we hear it?
My top 10 favorite candies, if I had to rank them, Twizzlers is number 1,
Twizzlers?
and number 2 is Gushers, then Oreos.
My top 10 candy is how the fuck she.
Do you know Zachary on this app,
Why are
Sam?
you being mean to me?
Because you're mean to Lucy.
Who? What?
Sam, where do you rank Skittles?
The one that I said was overweight.
Sam, have you
Yeah.
been eating
I'm
Skittles?
sorry, I'm overweight too.
We know.
Sam, did you go to the matzo ball?
Melania, I don't know what happened.
Sam, did you go to the matzo ball?
You blocked him? Her? Sorry.
I thought so, but I guess not.
Why are you being a faggot as a man that you block people?
I think
Are you Diego?
Hello?
I think blocking is healthy.
Or
Hello?
are you Nura?
Hello? Sam, are you a closet homosexual?
Down syndrome.
Hello?
Guess I'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
What the hell? What?
It's so sad that Christmas is not white anymore.
What an F word.
What does that mean?
That there's no snow.
Yeah.
Snow? Just go to Diego's room. He's got dandruff everywhere.
So it's never been an issue for me.
Oh, we do. We had always snow. Now it's just rain. And it's quite warm.
Yeah, this year it has
Global
been
warming.
usually freezing cold.
Global warming.
Around Thanksgiving, and I haven't seen that in years. But this Christmas, it hasn't gotten below 45. This year, not just this Christmas.
Oh, somebody's biking.
I heard this season's becoming trans too.
Usually it's 70 degrees here now, or it has been for the most part.
Is Christmas gay?
It's like foggy and rainy,
Yeah.
and it can smell.
What the
like,
fuck? It's foggy here too. Is the whole planet fucking foggy? Is there like a dragon mist
I don't
across
know
the
what it
realm?
is.
Maybe flat Earth is real.
The nature.
Nature's fake. Okay, I'm going to go back to listening to Elon Musk. I am complete.
And food that you don't feel comfortable eating at events, and then you like develop like a quiet confidence, like alcohol sucks.
Yeah, simple. You just fucking say it, and you're like, yeah, don't drink it. Simple.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have a specific aura about you. Don't even excuse it. Make no fucking excuses for it. Just say that you don't. You do not need to make an excuse for a good personal decision like that. Say, for instance, oh, I don't want to drink any alcohol. You don't fucking like tell them that straight away. You just wait until they offer some, and it's like, oh, hey, do you want to X, Y, and Z drink? And be like, no, I'm good.
Well, the truth is though, they will ask you like 4 times.
I don't fucking care. They'll ask me 5 fucking times. They actually asked me like about 6 fucking times, and they did that within the space of less than an hour because it was such a hard thing to like accept. Like, man, how's this fucking guy not drinking? I'm like, no, I'm good. Every single time, same fucking default response. I don't care. You don't have to justify that shit. You justify that shit to yourself with a whole bunch of stuff. If they ask you why, then you justify it. But beyond that, don't fucking do it. Who cares?
True.
It's your fucking decision.
But maybe not everyone's got your constitution, and it takes a little bit of practice until you feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, imagine it. The way you can do it is like, say, imagine something that's not always socially asked. But like, say, do you do a particular thing, and it's like a practice which the majority of the time is not something that is done by society. So you just have no reply for that, and the way that feels, and the way that people accept that, you just have to basically treat it the same way. It's like a basic thing, you know.
I mean, autism is like this on steroids because literally everything I do for my entire life is the opposite of what people would encourage me to do.
Something like that, you know. You build up a resistance for this, you know, like a front. And they can talk about anything, do whatever they want. Even with things, I've noticed that if you have the need to justify that to someone, then it is more so like, even if they don't ask, like imagine you have a thing where you're trying to justify something to someone, and they don't ask about your justification of it, then it comes off as if, like, let's imagine that you actually wanted that person to know because you think it's important, but most of the time what people usually do is they give a justification for an action they take, not because they want someone else to be encouraged to take that same action with them, but because you want to see whether or not you can justify yourself of this. That's the problem. People like to talk for the sake of convincing themselves of the thing that they're trying to convince other people of. It's like trying to outsource your own confirmation bias. It's ridiculously funny and fucked up at the same time. And it exists in ways that mostly you cannot necessarily avoid. And for somebody who's like, say, autistic, they don't even notice that they're doing this at all. As a matter of fact, they don't notice it because their understanding of giving an explanation to a particular life decision that they make, let's say if it be dietary, and you explain exactly why that is, you're actually hoping to improve another person's life by explaining to them your justification. Other people have like their own justifications for things, but they explain to you their justification because they want themselves to feel justified in their decision, as opposed to explaining it because they want to help you. You see where that dilemma is?
The alcoholic convincing their guests to drink with them.
It's like a social pressure thing, but I've been pretty resistant to it. I haven't really drank that much in the past couple of years.
Damn, that's a good post. But yeah. And so, that's the thing where with autism you have to actually kind of play by the rules of the game that's set by the normalized dysfunction or unaware, or like the lack of awareness of other people. So, you know, in this case, unless somebody asks you of your justification as to why it is that, you know, you've taken a certain path, you don't say it, even if it's helpful to them. They don't care. They really do not care. And it makes you come across as extremely weak if you show any of that to anyone. It does. It's really fucking disgusting. I hate it. It is very frustrating because I'll often get questions from people, and I don't even know, like, to what depth I should go into for explaining certain things, because I don't know how much they actually care. I don't know if, you know, maybe they would find the things I say disagreeable. So I feel like I'm constantly like assessing myself for, you know, how much should I really explain this? Because there's certain things I could talk about for hours and hours and hours. I could just explain endlessly about this thing. And, you know, I know most people don't want to listen to that. So it's like when someone asks me this very surface level question about something that I take very seriously, it's like, I don't even know how to begin addressing this within your frame. And it's an endless source of frustration.
I mean, that's a challenge. I don't care. It's very nice. I actually like it when certain people that have no understanding of what I'm about to say, they try to ask me like a question on something. And then it gives me a great challenge to boil it down into metaphors. At first, like, make it clear, I'm like, okay, that's going to be a bit tough to explain. You're not going to tell them that it's tough to explain because they don't know shit. You just simply tell them that the fact that it is, in fact, going to be difficult for you to explain it, right? So you just kind of boil it down to metaphor and give it to them. And they say, like, also, if at any point none of what I'm saying makes sense, do make sure to ask me more questions on that, because, you know, I actually want you to understand that. Something like that. But you don't tell them that you want them to understand. You just say, okay, and if at any point I'm not making sense of what I'm saying, make sure to tell me, because, you know, yeah, something like that. Just continue. Keep the justifications out of that. Just keep the statements going. That shit works so fucking much. And then sometimes you do get questions in, and actually quite good questions. You see, I think one of the major problems is that the majority of people, they don't understand what learning looks like, but they actually do want to learn because it's built into humans that they want to be useful somehow. And so understanding what the world looks like, because you're genuinely curious, unless of course, you know, you don't have that, which is not the rule but the exception, then, you know, you're willing to receive this information. It just depends on how receptive they are to what it is that you're able to put out. Like, the output is extremely that's where the challenge is at, because you have to think about it this way. I'm pretty sure that the majority of all people are able to sit through a strange, dramatized bullshit representation of reality that is a sitcom or fucking Star Wars or the new Star Trek, which is absolute fucking dog shit. But anyways, you know, you sit through it and they are somehow able to grasp some of those concepts, and some of the other ones they're not, but they subconsciously do, which is the point of the show. Anyways, the thing is, if they are able to sit through all of this nonsense and then perhaps even recite some of the plot points, it means that they are capable of understanding complex levels of information to a certain extent. While it may appear, I think, to us, you know, that this is a thing where, you know, it's basic in nature because of our understanding as to you know, how the world works. For them, it's just a thing that, you know, it's new, it's abstract, right? And so I think presentation of a particular, you know, type of fact that you understand or a concept that you understand is what separates you from, I say, high functioning and low functioning intelligence.
Well, the part of it is, however, it's not just a matter of, you know, my ability to explain it. It's that they probably have a number of pre-existing ideas that are going to prevent me from being able to accurately explain it, because if say I'm talking about something that maybe they have some familiarity with, but I have like an entire layer of context that I've added through my own research to this, I'm not just explaining that thing. I'm now unexplaining everything they know. And this is the worst part of all. This is absolutely the worst part, because unexplaining things, unlearning things is often way more difficult than learning things. It's not only because you have to go through the same process essentially, but you also have to kind of question yourself. You have to, you know, in a sense, admit fault, right? Because not even that I really particularly judge people for having a wrong belief about something. It's more like, you know, there's always going to be this sense of an emotional attachment to your beliefs. You know, if you believe something, you believe it with your whole heart, and, you know, you want to convince other people. You've had this whole saga with this belief And, obviously, some people are going to be wrong about certain things. That's just an inevitability in a sense, because we're very split in terms.
I think you're overcomplicating it a little bit. I think that's actually in general. I think that's a bit of a problem with everyone. Is the overcomplication of what it is that we understand. Like the world is very complex, and you can talk to other people as to how complex it really is, and really boil down to the systems if somebody asks. But if somebody doesn't ask, then you can't explain the full spectrum of what the world actually is. You start at the basic bitch thing first, and then you go to like more levels of complexity.
Really difficult. Like just boiling down the complex.
Not really, not for me. You just have to keep doing it a bunch of times. And yeah, I think one of the ways that I've been able to learn it is by actually having to work with people that don't understand certain things at all. Like say, for instance, you have an individual that has never touched a computer before, never really used a computer before. Try to explain to them how the fucking computer works. Absolutely fucking hopeless. However, what you do teach them is how to execute a particular what you want them to execute on that computer. And then slowly but surely, as they even make mistakes, you start to understand how you can teach them even more so. And that has allowed me to do very interesting things. I could teach practically anyone almost anything, depending on, of course, how advanced that mind is, how receptive they are to the information. There's an intelligence barrier, of course, which acts as a limiting factor to what it is that I can do in terms of teaching people, but in and of itself, that in fact will work. More so than you can imagine. I have to train people that have no clue in certain places on how to do certain things, a thing that they will never have a clue about unless I teach them. Imagine, for instance, teaching them a particular thing that in 5 minutes that 5 years of school couldn't do for them. Well, that's what I can do. That is one of my great superpowers. If that wasn't the case, I really wouldn't be having a job, nor would I even have a show, because the art of having a show, especially a thing like this, is to take super complex things that have taken a lot of time to learn and understand, and boiling them down to a few sound bites that are minutes in length or even seconds in length. That is the reason why this show, for instance, is so big, because it is a constant flow of this exact information, acting as one interconnected thing itself, but still having enough separation for it to satisfy the ADHD-prone minds of the 21st century. And this is all of us, by the way. We all have these weaknesses in some capacity or other. We've all been inundated with short-form content. And it just works, This, if you want an idea to be viral, if you want something, to stick in somebody's head, you come up with funny ways to say a certain thing, or even have a lot of variation of the thing that you do say, because it keeps people, gripped to the story, whatever it may be. And that story is also learning. Like comedians, same thing. Stand-up comedians are so good. Because they're effectively also teachers in a sense. They bring forth a lot of information, which then becomes your context. And then eventually, if the context is, received and programmed into people's brains, then you can drop the punchline, and then everybody laughs, because it actually, the punchline out for the first time ever makes sense. And other comedians, they just basically look at whatever the context of the room could be, and then drop punchlines associated with whatever common context there is, and then they're able to just make jokes up on the fly, because somebody just will get it, right? The reason why you get things is because they have the proper context, and if you don't have the proper context be there, then you have to give that context to those people, specifically for a stand-up comedian in a show. That's how that works, right? Also, the reason why Mark Andreessen is so fucking interesting to listen to, because he's doing the exact same shit that I do as well, right? He just has to breathe less into the microphone. It's a little bit distracting. But hey, amazing individual. Mark Andreessen.
I don't know. I guess if I'm just
used to phone me that I pissed him off.
I guess if I'm talking about my experience personally, it's part of it is just that I'm not only teaching people, I'm also in constant learning experience as well. I mean my
everybody is. Well, everybody is. You're not introspective enough. That is your problem. It's a great weakness. That was a weakness of mine as well. That I'm not introspective enough. Everything that I do.
Know that I'm not introspective enough. I'm actually trying to work on that.
It's a very simple thing.
Well,
it's a simple thing to put into action to be introspective, because you just simply look at whatever it is that you're about to say and say, how effectively can I say this? How can I make this shorter, more efficient, and well-versed? That is what I've based years of practice around, and it is extremely difficult.
Well, what I was about to explain is that, it's actually the same thing with the introspection thing, is that I'm trying to maintain a certain trajectory of learning. At the same time, I'm trying to maintain a certain trajectory of of being able to teach people. So same thing with the introspection. I'm trying to maintain a certain level of self-reflection and learning and analyzing myself. At the same time, I'm also trying to be right here and talk to you and engage with this, and also hopefully be entertaining to people. So it's just a balance, right? I think that I have a fairly effective inner outer balance in terms of progression balanced by also actively creating meaning. And I try to even integrate these things because I find that I actually can learn things in a sense just by doing. And I'll be having a conversation with someone, I'll say something like, I didn't even realize that I thought that way about that until I had this conversation with someone. So
some conversations are like that, but the problem is these have to be personal conversations, and then the problem beyond that is after you've had that conversation, sit down and take an hour to change things each and every single time. Like for instance, if you were to take a space that I did, I always do this after spaces. I examine, how was it? Was it actually good? Do we do well? What would I change? I have clips of myself being made all the time by many people. Blaise was one of the first who actually did that, and somebody else even created a tool based around our spaces and how pathetic they were, because it was so much value that you could just clip out of these. But realistically, what was interesting about this is because you were displayed for you a type of thing, and you look at the clip, and normally what people do is they make excuses for themselves and say, no, I actually did perform well, even though you look at that and you say, if this wasn't me, and if this was somebody else, and I were to see this be the first impression of somebody else that I would have, would I think that this person is competent, or would I think that this person is an absolute fucking idiot? And even though I'd be saying things that are competent and would have a lot of merit behind them, the way that they were presented would often make me look like an absolute fucking retard. Now that is because you don't voice things properly, you don't phrase things properly either, and you just have grammatical errors in what it is that you're outputting, because the understanding
The Latin say
language pipeline is just very it's a very annoying process. You understand a lot of things, but to turn that into actual language is a remarkably difficult thing to do, more so than people would even imagine, until eventually you do end up in a conversation in front of a live show in front of hundreds of people, and you actually have to fucking do it, and then that thing is being clipped afterwards as oh hey, there you go. There you go, this is what it looks like. You kind of look like an idiot there. You're annoyed by your own voice or what it is that you're doing. So probably change that aspect about yourself, evolve and become better, difficult, and that's the introspective element. It is just reevaluating what exactly you just output. Because if you don't do that, you're just wasting your time and everyone else's time, which is arguably about as bad, if not worse. Because you're wasting your time, that's pretty bad. It's a life wasted. But if you're wasting if you're wasting everybody else's time as well, then it is arguably even worse, because you're literally just taking aspects of life.
I had to go off the space for a little bit there. Besides listening to yourself and then identifying things that could be better, what did you do to actually improve? Did you just say, all right, I'm going to struggle through whatever I need to say without saying any ums and ahs? What did you specifically do in order to improve your communication? Because I'm actually pretty impressed when I listen to you that you're able to go off for long periods of time without hesitation or losing your train of thought.
It's a practice thing, actually. You have to practice this yourself. A significant other for this will, if you have a significant other that is, has a brain. Not many people have that because they date absolute fucking whores, and that's, I can understand the game, but realistically, you need to date someone that you can, talk to, and that doesn't stab you in the back once you reveal certain things about yourself. So say, for instance, you have a wife, if she's willing to listen, try to talk to her about certain things. Try to talk to her about some things that you understand, and then try to present whatever it is that you understand in as a concise and professional way, or manner rather, as possible. And that will allow you to actually look at yourself and say, hey, am I actually making sense here? Am I actually keeping a consistent train of thought? And the more you do that, the better. And it's even better in environments where there are disturbances, because you will always have a disturbance of some kind. That has helped me, for instance. Because I noticed, oh my God, I'm actually so good when I'm talking to people that I know are actually going to listen to me and I know I can trust. Why don't I just apply the same thing, to everything else? For instance, internet conversations were always a thing I was much better at than actual physical conversations, right? Because, you don't think about, being confronted with a person's face Now, of course, I'm a lot better at that, and I can actually talk to almost anyone if I wanted to. It just depends on what exactly their knowledge base, their knowledge base is. Like, for instance, if I were to talk to someone who's an average fucking frat boy who understands nothing about the world, I cannot have a conversation with them because they physically know nothing. So I cannot actually have a conversation with that. So don't base your standards off of, like, horrible real life interaction. Base your standards off of, hey, what kind of people can you attract? Let's say, for instance, when I have this thing going on and I have like an explanation of some kind or I have something I understand, I put a claim out there and it's actually pretty good. And people such as yourself, for instance, and other people who are very capable in the world agree with what it is that I say and even say that that is impressive. That for me is a validation that states, yes, this is actually the thing that makes sense. I don't impress people who have like minimum understanding of the world and are just generally terrible people in many different ways that, are just not sufficient. I base my understanding off of people who have had big impact on the world, if that is possible, right?
So, two things. One, it's important for us then to give you feedback and let you know when we don't understand what you're saying, because that's actually helpful to you. And the other thing that I would add is that if you can explain something to a frat boy as you described it, you can explain it to everyone. So that actually is a pretty useful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a bit of a thing. See, the thing I specifically said is I can explain things to that person, but having an actual conversation from a perspective of relating about things is almost impossible because it's impractical, because it can't happen, because there's nothing to relate to. Now, what you just mentioned there saying, oh, hey, talk to the person and that you can teach them something, that kind of works, but it has to be a person who's naturally curious, because not all frat boys are made equally.
I was a frat boy, bro. I know.
Yeah, but if you're curious, just a little bit of curiosity makes all the difference. If you genuinely do not give a slightest of a fuck about anything, there is no chance. There's just no way. And you shouldn't have to waste your time with that either. If there is a slight bit of curiosity, that's enough. That'll do good for you. Then you can have a conversation. Then you can teach and communicate. But also be careful with what it is that you start with. Just kind of like establish where the common ground is, where that person comes from. Because if they're like, of a particular political, aisle, then things become a little bit more complicated.
So don't just think in terms of first principles. Communicate with them in the same way.
Precisely.
How much do you feel this kind of framing really applies to, for instance, the woke fellowship and your ability to speak to them?
Everything. It's like, what this is rules of engagement for basic diplomacy. Whenever you go out there into the world, this be anything, even the person that you talk to that may sleep with you every single day, it is an act of diplomacy. It's just that there's already context established between the two parties in the case of someone who's always with you. But whatever you engage with, it is always an act of diplomacy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
It is extremely difficult to engage with them because the type of stuff that you will say has to be stated in such a way as if you were to talk to, say, some sort of bureaucracy like the federal, you're talking to a Fed effectively. Because if you do something that's wrong, they will literally work to fucking cancel you. Right? And if you doubt that, I got more than enough proof fucking everywhere. Everybody knows, right? You say just a tiny smoke that you have to walk on fucking eggshells effectively. Treat them as you were actual bureaucracy. Not authority, because they're not an authority. Bureaucracy. There is a difference. Authority means something that has ruling with merit. Bureaucracy means it's just a thing that you have to deal with certain measures and certain framing and all this kind of stuff. Right? It's just information differently shaped, certain things that you're not supposed to engage with. This is like, oh hey, this is the bureaucratic authority that deals with the water supply or something, so you don't tell them about anything else other than stuff that concerns water supply, as an example. Stuff like that, okay? And so with the woke, it is much the same way. You will never discuss any particular other thing because it will simply lead nowhere. Unless you like the light of the bridges you burn, and realistically speaking about certain things that are critical of their existence are not, it's just not going to work. It's not your place to do this. Then that awakening will be bestowed upon them in different ways. And maybe you are successful, maybe you want to do this, maybe you can afford to burn the bridges for a little extra light. But realistically speaking, if what has been phrased here is conversing with these individuals, then the best way to do it is to basically walk on eggshells and address things that are meritable about them. And if there's nothing meritable about them, then simply don't talk to them. So
I think the thing that's particularly noteworthy in any instance where you are talking to these people is the basic realization that a lot of the issues that you will talk about may be impacting them personally. As in, you may actually be speaking to an actual trans person, someone who has friends who are trans, et cetera, et cetera. It's that these issues tend to impact people on an emotional level, which I think is effectively the very reason we have this thing in the first place that we all collectively call the woke mind virus, is that it's incredibly difficult to talk about issues that are so personal that do impact like real human lives. You may have even seen firsthand, someone can see, I don't know, a hate crime against a trans person. They're like, wow, I'm gonna, this has emotionally impacted me, and this may, keep them in that particular political sphere for the rest of their lives. I mean, that's kind of just how humans operate in a sense, even though we're governed by our experiences, and emotional experiences tend to trump logical ones, which, is a difficult subject because logic in general is what you need to really be operating with. And emotions are obviously important. Emotions are great. We need to have them. But if emotions govern you, if you let your life be run by them, then you're inevitably going to run into, guess what? People who have had defining experiences that also led them to emotional conclusions, right? So that just leads to a clash that can't really be effectively resolved. And you're talking about
it's just hardly different. Again, like, there's a complexity question. When you are talking to somebody about specific issues of biology like that, you're not talking to them about issues of biology because there's absolutely no fucking way. There are some limitations to what outreach you can have, and that is again why I say it is communication and conversation is an act of diplomacy each and every single time. And sometimes an act of diplomacy constitutes to making certain concessions in order to, say, get the benefit of knowing the person and making sure that this individual doesn't have the wrong idea of you. If I am, say, going to work with a person in software and they so happen to be trans, the aspect of them which makes them trans is something that is irrelevant to me. I want to know, did you turn the server on? Did you connect that database? Is everything working clean and perfectly? Hey, has the electrician made sure that they connected you to this power source that never goes down, so our servers don't go down? Is all that fixed still? Is that all good? Nice. How's your whole thing working? Do you have any power surges? Is your server still working properly? All that kind of stuff. At no point will I give it even the slightest of a fuck if that person is trans or not trans, gay, whatever the fuck. I don't care what's between their legs. I don't care what they want to identify as. If they do a good job, they do a good job. I don't give a fuck about anything else. And that's the thing that people need to understand as well. And also another thing that people need to understand is, like, specifically with things such as trans, not all of them are the same. I feel social media has in some ways painted a very fucked image of this. Like, you have all of the insane people, legitimately insane people, used as a rule template for all of them that are the same thing, even though it's not a rule. That's the fucking exception. I even know someone. We have our friend Blythe knows him as well. It's like we know this person who has a trans individual in their family who's really fucking based. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. This is not a person who's actually insane. You have to imagine, there is insanity, and then there is something that's actually normal. That individual, from a perspective of how they integrate in society and how they function with that society, is normal. Or is what normal should be. Like, that's fine. They don't force their views onto anyone as well. That's pretty cool too, right? They do their thing, they're productive, and that's it. That's all you need. You don't need more than that. You shouldn't be putting out more than that either. You have your own barriers and things. Maybe you can extend them because people are on your side, but realistically, it's not that big of an issue unless you make it an issue and focus on what could make it an issue. That's my perception of that. It's like when I meet a trans person, the last fucking thing, even the thing I wouldn't want to even talk about, is their opinion on biology. Like, what the fuck? that's never gonna end well.
Yeah. To go back to the question about wokeness and how it interacts with the introspective framework, I think what wokeness has done is create new rules of engagement, like Adrian was talking about. And those new rules, at least for the folks that buy into them, are a priori. That means they come before anything else. And if they're violated, it allows them to throw all other rules, including the rules of diplomacy and human decency that Adrian was talking about, out the window. and they'll wish death on people, violence on people. They'll celebrate violence against people that they don't like because they violated the rules of this framework, but they're doing things that are just like not decent on a basic human level. And that's like something I can't vibe with. That's something I can't buy into.
Mm-hmm. Precisely. Have you ever had a quote post of a reply under your post? This is kind of funny. Here, check this out. That is hilarious.
Even from his mother's blood, and he will turn many of the sons of Israel to the Lord their God, and he will go before them in their spirit and power to Elisha, and turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just.
Anything else you want to address?
You know, I will give some thoughts on transness, and this is said with like absolutely no disrespect or negative feelings towards trans people whatsoever. However, I think that the way that people react on the issue of pronouns is very telling sometimes, because I think that if your identity is more about making other people treat you a certain way than just you being yourself, then maybe there's more going on than just your identity. And to me, I think that if somebody just wants to be themselves and that's who they are, like that's fine and cool. But when it becomes a way to police other people's behavior and control other people, that's where I see it becoming problematic.
Yeah. Again, like what I said, I mean, I'm willing to work with people. I have a diplomatic aura about me. That's the thing I like. However, you know, with diplomacy, like what I said here, imagine you interact with certain people where it's like, hey, this individual is very like if diplomacy breaks down, that's going to turn into a war between me and them to a certain extent. You know, and maybe I don't have to interface with that war directly. Maybe somebody else in that region will, and I could just ignore it. But in a sense, there will be conflict as a result of my diplomacy breaking down here. Whether or not that conflict directly affects me is a different issue, but that I caused it is the issue. Right? So when it comes to, you know, and certain times you can even afford the war. You know, when it comes to a person who's obviously ridiculous and you have a chance to put that ridiculousness in its place and the result of that being a better individual or just a victory for you because, you know, it's a sake of victory, then you can also do that as well, right? This happens sometimes when you see me troll certain people or trolling certain concepts. Like, I already have an opinion made up on it, and I will hear them out on certain things, but if these things are complete nonsense, I will have no holding back on anything that I'm going to say within the law and within civilized acceptability. Like, there is going to be a max amount of trolling that's happening, and there will be absolutely no reservations of any.
Send me your Cash App.
I think my Cash App is John Kitover. JOHNKITOVER. Oh my God, sisters, I just got my first Cash App donation.
That was the best wow of all time. Just all of a sudden, wow.
I saw brown Nazi. I was like, what the fuck are you doing here?
A brown Nazi.
Oh my God, Ryan. I just got the banner. I can't text right now. But it's she, bro.
Oh my God, Chicago cheeseburger's back. Nigger.
Ryan.
Thanks for mentioning.
What did you say?
Nothing. I just said that.
Actually, it's Chicago cheeseburger. Money sign Chicago cheeseburger.
चलो यार ये अच्छा है. This is.
No, he's my brand.
Wait, is he coming?
Yeah, tell him to come.
Oh,
he's right there. Here he is. Hi, Dylan. He's right there at the bottom. Hi, Dylan. Oh, he's
That's not him.
Let's talk about the.
No, Quran is Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Dylan.
That's not Dylan.
Yes, it is. Hey,
You know who that is.
no, it's not.
Dylan, since when are you bald?
Yeah, Dylan. Since when you look like an alopecia market.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Your brain naturally goes.
Oh, maybe I am autistic.
Oh my God, can you tell him I'm showering? Let me wash my hands. Hold on. Okay, I don't feel comfortable fucking Edmund's in the house, in the room. You're in the
Huh?
I'm in the bath, please.
Oh.
I don't know if you only with the gates. Ryan, what should I say?
Hello.
No, tell me more.
Hello.
I want to get fucked by a ballerina, man.
What?
Did I stutter?
N-word, what?
Nigger?
N-word, say what?
Shut the fuck up, you fucking child molester looking ass nigger, fucking pedophile with the fucking children in your fucking attic.
Stop projecting, brother.
Bitch, give me your first child.
You're nice to my sister.
Yeah, sisters don't talk to sisters like that. Jesus, sister.
This is popular from wicked in Japanese.
Oh my god. Yeah, tell him that.
What is this, wicked for F words, N words?
Yeah. Oh, my bath is so warm.
Oh, you're taking a hot bath. What time is it? What time is it there?
It's morning.
Oh, you didn't go to sleep, huh?
No, I slept the whole day accidentally.
Oh, so you don't have a normal sleeping schedule. That's great.
No, not this week. This is my final week.
Oh, then you go back to hell?
No, I'm going to home.
Home, where's that?
The Netherlands.
Where's that?
The Netherlands?
Do they-
Netherlands?
Do they-
New York. She went back to New
Do
York.
they have Clubhouse there?
Yeah. Go to New York.
Is Princessia on there sucking Diego's digital neo-Nazi dick?
Oh, she's
I don't
still
know if
she's still
she's
listening
on.
now.
Yeah, she's watching right now. She's the only person live watching.
Damn, she's really sad.
She's committed.
She's so fucking pathetic.
That's really depressing.
Diego's
Nora.
busy with his family. She's all alone.
Why don't you go spend time with
Well,
her
Nora,
mom?
how does it feel to be depressed like that?
Go spend time with your mom.
Nora, you should have thought better. I wouldn't have blocked you if you had blocked me, bitch.
She wrote, "Shut up, you ugly B word."
Oh.
Screenshot that. I want to see it.
Go
I don't
ahead.
care if she's sick.
Just
No,
go to my
screenshot it.
YouTube channel and watch it live. You can see her comments live. Do you want the
Tell her is she barren?
Princessia? Are you vaccinated and barren? She says, "Fuck you."
How many SSRIs did she take today?
Yeah.
She said she takes it once a day, daily. It's called bupropion, and she says she feels great, and that your phobia against psychiatry is not appropriate.
Tell her when she dies, she's gonna donate her body to cats for they could be cat food.
She said, so when I talked to her today, she was like, "I heard everything you say. I've heard everything you say. You are a foul, disgusting human being."
Who?
Princessia.
Yeah, about who though? About you?
Yeah, about me.
She's projecting.
I know, because clearly I'm like a handsome, polite, intelligent, wonderful human. Duh.
And you're the scientist. You're everything better than her. You're winning. You have a country. You have in fact 2 countries, you know? And she has none. Can you be really angry with her?
I don't know. Do you have any kids?
No, but I'm young.
I just get the feeling that dealing with Princessia is like dealing with a child that has Down syndrome.
Oh my God, Ryan, do you remember Lee, the retarded girl, Becky?
I didn't know she was retarded. Oh yeah, I didn't know the cheer coach.
The cheer coach,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's a Down syndrome that popped
The
in my
cheer
head when you just
coach?
said that.
Look at the title.
What's the cheer
the room
coach?
is titled Christmas Wind Down.
Rian. Oh my God, I'm about to die.
Oh, check my text message.
You can't get out of the hot tub? Call Princessia. She'll tell you how to squirm out.
She doesn't know how to squirt, darling.
I need a girlfriend. Holy
No,
shit.
Princessia.
How do I get rich and travel the world with a hottie?
That desert, girl. That pussy is as ashy as fucking Gaza right now. Oh, God forbid.
I just want to say Allahu Akbar.
Nigger.
F word, N word. F word, N words. Hello?
Hello?
Oh my God, I found Abby in the shower, in the bath. Oh my God, Abby, it's you.
What are you doing?
Do you have your phone with you? Oh, of course you are.
I'm here.
Your hair? What about your hair?
Well, I'm about to die. It's so warm right now.
Your ass is dry.
Hello?
Oh
thank you.
my God, my pussy hurts.
Well, see, I hate you. You're the dirtiest human on the
Shut
app.
the
You
fuck up.
ruin
Abby,
all
check
my
your Telegram.
clown house.
Shut up.
Bye. Can't deal with all this. Our sister's in the hot tub and you're just being crude and vulgar.
Yeah.
You guys can't leave me alone.
Check your damn Telegram.
Boys, I gotta go get the helicopter. It's nice talking to y'all.
Every single time
What
we're
is
out of
this?
or even something outrageous, I clip it with OBS Studio and upload the MP3 to the Discord soundboard.
That's hella.
And every time we just spam the noises.
Guys, you guys know about the Telegraph, the fucking newspaper? UK news site, the website of the year?
Yes.
Why men should give their wives a cheat pass on Christmas.
Get fucked.
No.
Get fucked. I'm sorry, if you want to be a cuck, don't try to normalize it for anyone else, because I will look at you and say, you, sir, ma'am, whatever, are insane. And that is disgusting, and you should probably do something about that, meaning just stop doing it, and I am not at all ever going to participate in normalizing this absolute fucking mental disease of a practice.
Rune posted...
This I do have a very strong opinion on. Like, the whole cuck thing I have a very strong opinion on, and I do have literally zero, like an inch of a shit that will like somehow keep me from saying that specific opinion.
Rune just posted.
Say what you want about other sexual identities, I don't represent the assessments of that, but when it comes to this type of shit, these practices, that practice in particular, oh boy, yeah, man. There's no mercy of this one, I'm sorry.
Rune just posted.
It's disgusting.
Rune just posted the amount of Indian hate recently is how you know we made it for real. Everyone pretends to want a meritocracy until they see they're not at the top.
Oh. It's kind of hilarious because isn't this like the guy who also kind of advocated for meritocracy, but then in one post specifically has said that he can't take the fact that, you know, the new Twitter, as you like to call it, you know, what X is now, amplifies certain opinions irrespective of what this account is. You know, like some pieces of information just naturally surface to the top. And even though these opinions are quite good, or even though some of these takes are quite good, or some of the videos or media attached to it is quite good, bro just says it's slop. Where it's like, sure, I understand that that is a thing that most people think, for sure, but that most is just a very large noise of a very, very small group of people that have
Don't
made
go around drinking with
the
any wine.
environment that was Twitter
Don't go driving
absolute
around
hell
with any
for
wine.
the last couple of years. So I'm not sure. It's kind of ironic him saying that, or it, whatever it is. I don't have no beef with him, but I do have beef with contradictions. You may change your mind, of course. It's fine. But I shall remember. Always.
Legend says Sam Altman is ruined.
Probably not. I don't think Sam Altman would say I'm Indian.
Sam Altman posted once. He said, "Rune is my alt."
Yeah, I think he's been.
Yeah, it's a joke. And Elon has said that I'm his AI alter ego, but I'm pretty sure each and every single one of us has verified to each other that that's not the fucking truth, now, is it?
Oh, you are.
People say a lot of things, man. People say a lot of things. Jesus. I mean, hey, do you want to trust the guy who said, hey, man, we're a non-profit organization, but was like driving around in a Koenigsegg, and they decided, oh, hey, now we're a for-profit organization? You want to trust that guy? I don't know, man. I wouldn't trust that guy.
Yeah. I have no financial incentive in this.
Okay.
I'm talking about how Sam Altman was telling the senator he had no financial interest in OpenAI.
Right. So I thought you were like stating something just for stating it, like just for the trolls, make a quick legal statement. I have no financial incentive in this. We should like normalize that for no reason, like within any context. Whenever the conversation goes stale, you just like follow it, 2-3 seconds, 5 seconds after that with I have no financial incentive in this. Like as monotone a voice as possible, like really, really fed. Like just say I have no financial incentive. Don't lie about it, of course. Like I have no financial incentive in this.
You're gonna make this space sound real sus.
Exactly. Hey, game of the internet. Who's the Fed? Yeah. If it's a hot girl that DMs you, either they are crazy, they're really in love, or they're oh man.
Or they're trying to
It's
rob
like hide and go seek, but the Fed version.
Yes, to try to rob you. It's like one of those Colombian strippers that's gonna like drug you for some reason. Hey, and the reason why I said this specific one is because I saw a fucking streamer on Kick literally invite a bunch of Colombian strippers into his place, and then those strippers subsequently drugged him, put clothes all over the cameras, and then robbed him.
Wow, Vanessa.
You can't trust nobody, man.
Vanessa is 5 miles away.
Oh fucking god! Hot singles in your area turns out to be some fucking base.
Where is she?
Like driving around in a Koenig.
Wait,
Hot singles in your area. Oh no, sorry, that's just a one man.
This is how we're gonna do this. Hello.
Can I help you?
Yes, you can. Your license plate comes back to a Saturn, not an Accurate.
Yeah, I do.
It involved me, and then it evolved into like the MILF culture that then started like kicking off in the early 2000s for no explainable reason. I mean, bruh. I think that's because a lot of people realized that the younger generation was going to become increasingly immature, so a lot of males tended to gravitate towards women that were of, higher age, because they're more mature than whatever they were forced to accept. I mean, seriously, I don't. Yeah, if I was a young dude,
The average.
if I was in literacy right now, I was like 20 years old. I would not. I would seriously, if I didn't have like anyone to access really that is of a certain nature, I would settle for the base fucking 27, maybe 30-year-old. Realistically, I mean, what else you got? The fucking whore. What's your choice?
Yeah, the
Not the whore,
average.
the slut. Sorry, the classification's almost the same, but like different context. But yes.
The average MILF is better quality than the average slut your age.
Precisely. MILF economics are underrated.
What did we say, Adrian?
Don't fucking knock it. Don't knock the assessment, man.
Adrian solving the what's it called again? Hoflation by MILF maxing.
Bingo. That is exactly what is happening right now.
Adrian.
And I'm serious, by the way. I'm serious with what I said, 100%. Like, if I was, 20-year-old in this day and age, I didn't have any options, I'm MILF maxing. I'm sorry. Fuck this immature, unpredictable, unreliable nonsense. I'm MILF maxing. Deal with it. Now, it depends on what fucking baggage that comes with, of course, right? There are specifics that need to be, this is something that you need to keep in mind. But realistically speaking, with these kind of conditions, with this kind of economy, fucking I'm taking all easy so far. I'm MILF maxing 100%, man. Fuck that.
What you really put me over for?
I just explained that to you.
Are you like trying to sell it more to me, or are you trying to discourage me? I can't tell. You keep gonna be a massive problem, though. You're gonna watch out for that. In this specific case, what you're mentioning there, Anna. It's either I want that, but it depends on what's gonna happen after the bite.
Just make sure she doesn't bite the wrong place.
Oh my god. My dick is a 300-year-old vampire.
Yeah.
What? I was like, what? Somebody in one day decides to take all the strangest things I've said in the conversation space and puts it together in one thing, and that's one of the sentences.
Adrian outside of context.
Exactly. That would actually be a good viral video, just out of context, the dumbest fucking hilarious shit ever that makes Blythe go, wow.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
There's your data points right there. No one's gonna do it, but
We would see a bunch of them and not remember them and be like, what the fuck was the context behind this?
I know, right? Maybe I would actually. But sometimes people tend to do this thing where they come up and they bring up certain things I've said. I'm like, I said that shit? And it's kind of funny because sometimes I say stuff, they say, oh, you said this really interesting thing, this and this and this, and I'm like, I don't remember saying that, but that sounds really based. I agree with this. It's like sometimes you gotta talk to the realest person you know.
Sometimes you just gotta talk to the realest person you know.
Exactly. Remember this fucking Donald Trump quote posting himself? That's exactly the shit.
Yeah. Donald Trump quote posting himself with true.
Oh man.
That's based.
That was absolutely fucking hilarious. But I think tomorrow or the day after this, I'm gonna wake up and there's gonna be a legacy media news article written about the interaction of Elon and me because of the fucking DEI stuff I've started again because I decided, oh hey, there's a lot of weird bullshit going on in the timeline. Let's just speak out against about DEI because that's kind of died down. So yeah, that's back on the menu. Remember,
Please
Mark
do
Cuban was so
fentanyl.
heavily advocating for DEI. I think there's one person. There's a bunch of people, but I think one person in particular is the tech CEO, whatever kind of vibe that you want to have to put to someone on the billionaire level. I think one of the biggest losers out of this entire year was definitely Mark Cuban because he trashed his whole reputation, stated a bunch of things that everybody vehemently disagreed with, and made it extremely unpopular and made it extremely popular to shit on him and anyone who supports him. That Doge just lost a lot of shit. They tried to bet everything on the Harris campaign so much that the people who were running the campaign told them to fuck off sometimes. Well, not in this explicit way, of course. I'm just like basically telling them.
I disagree.
How is that?
John LeCun.
People with high
Yeah, oh, yeah. No. I was specifically saying billionaire, of course. If you want to have, like, workers in the tech space, Jan LeCun, big time, man. Oh, my God.
He's literally replying to people on X through fucking LinkedIn.
It's so stupid, man. At this point, he is basically making himself, from a social media platform perspective, irrelevant because no one is going to click all those fucking links.
This is the best circus act I've ever seen performed on this platform.
Yeah. So Trump had tweeted, "The silent majority is stronger than ever," and then he quote tweeted that with "true."
Love that.
It's like a jig. Have you like accidentally scroll the timeline, find your own post, presses like?
I'm gonna do that actually with one of my posts. I'm just gonna fucking quote post it with "true."
It's like the more advanced version of liking your own post. You're now agreeing with yourself.
Used to be no upon when you could look at the like.
My brain, like, dude, my cognitive security is so fucking good that I agree with myself.
Alright,
I agree with me too. Funny how that works.
I'm quote posting one of my posts. There we go.
Yeah, according to Descartes, we are each the realest person that we know, so I guess you have to trust yourself more than anyone else.
The opposite of that, the opposite of that would mean that you have cognitive dissonance, destroying what you are on an identity level. Or somebody else is doing that. We'll see how it works. We'll see how it works out. Man, I think this was a really good idea to start a Christmas Day conversation space. I feel like a lot of people are really enjoying this, man.
Yeah.
By the way, while this is happening, a meme token somewhere gains attention. People buy into it like crazy, and the story is uncontinued. A space will be held about that somewhere out there. It gets thousands of listeners from the middle of fucking nowhere. And then it gets rocked one day or it becomes a new thing entirely. To be continued.
Did you see the woman that posted on Reddit that she was worried about her husband's investment into this shitcoin?
Yes, I know. It's the one that's always like put in replies everywhere.
Yeah, and now the shitcoin is doing extremely well.
Oh my god, yeah.
They should get out right before it. She loses all.
Yeah, so this woman posted on Reddit, she's like, my husband has like his entire life savings in this fucking shitcoin. What a ridiculous name that I'm not gonna say.
Yes, because the thing is, whenever you encounter, say, cryptocurrency project of any kind, never speak its name. It's like, you have to be better about it.
Unless it's like a major project, right?
Oh yeah, it's a major project with like, lots of verified stuff behind it that's actually pretty good, and it's very lawful in nature, then yes, you can make an exception for that, like a Pepe, for instance, right? It's an interesting exception. Or fucking like Doge. Doge is not really shitcoin, but it's, it's a meme coin in a sense, but, there's merit behind it. You can say it. It's like, oh, it's Bitcoin, or it's Doge, I don't like Ethereum, but I'm going to say it anyways because a lot of people do.
And then you got the XRP tards.
Oh, fuck off, man.
Oh my god, you mentioned it. Oh god.
I actually once had like an XRP space back in the day, like long ago, to talk about the whole thing. I'm so tired of crypto.
Why are their fan base the most retarded people on earth? I don't understand. What is it about retards that's like magnetically attracted to XRP? I don't understand.
You just
Oh
made
my
my
god.
I swear, like, the fucking Ripple headquarters probably has a giant magnet set to retards.
Wow.
Oh god.
Clip it, chat.
Hey chat, can you believe this?
Alright, clip. I'm uploading it as a soundboard thing.
You have to like say it really, you have to say it very, with a lot of confidence in your voice. Are we gonna have a New Year's space? Are we gonna have New Year's space? I think we might have New Year's space.
Sure, go ahead.
Sure, yeah, I'm down.
I don't want to. I fucking hate celebrations like this shit. Oh my god, it's the end of the year. Fuck off.
That's the most sincere.
Oh my god, it's the new year. Fuck off.
So I gotta agree on what time zone we're gonna use if we do that, right? Because it's gonna be a new year every hour.
I know, right? It's fucking insane. I mean, what is it? We start on the. We start on what? The fucking West Coast first?
Yeah.
Like, walk each other through the timeline. Celebrate again and again and again. Every time you take 10 shots after every time that New Year's has been announced.
Exactly.
Because we're gonna test the healthcare system this year. Just
Let's
kidding.
start with the East first, though, right?
Actually, we can, yeah, East Coast might be better. So
Yeah, actually, no, East Coast, yeah. Alright, we're gonna start with East Coast, and then we'll just work our way through everything else.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we could just start Japan time or something like that. Australia.
Start for start for Mikey.
I think that's like basically gonna be a day in the past, practically. They're like very far behind. What are you trying to do? You're gonna drink early in the morning? Like, what's the point here?
I don't drink. I don't drink that.
You don't drink, but everybody else is gonna. And if we're gonna say, okay, we're gonna start the New Year celebrations at this point over here, then everybody's gonna drink so much that we're gonna test the fucking healthcare system, okay?
Celebrating? What are you celebrating? One more year
shot
around
every
the
hour,
fucking
right?
sun.
I'm gonna
One more year
celebrate
on the
that
sun.
Q4 for companies is coming, and I wait until the stock is gonna dump so I can buy it back cheaper. I'm gonna do this like every single time. It's so fucking funny. It's like with Tesla, for instance, right? And again, you know, for those people who think that this is gonna be like, this is Elon talking, you're fucking stupid in the head. This is not Elon Musk, and I just have to clarify this again and again. And I know it sounds funny for me to say this, but for me personally, I'm not a stock trader, Maxi. I kind of feel like the whole process is kind of strange. And the type of people who speculate on Tesla stock to the minute degrees, I think it's kind of a waste of time unless you actually have a process, which most people don't. But anyways, besides that point, what is always interesting for me, it doesn't always happen, but sometimes there are, most of the times it happens, is like whenever something new comes out through Tesla, you like have Q3 or Q4, something really interesting, some groundbreaking shit, then for some reason, because everybody panics, the fucking stock goes down just a little bit, and it's so funny because the smart people just buy in whenever it goes lower a little bit, and it's like a Bitcoin investment, just keeps going up. It's fucking funny as shit. You just like wait for a big ass announcement and it always somehow has some sort of an impact where people panic, then it sells a little bit, you just enter and then it goes back to where it was and a little bit higher even. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Not financial advice, obviously. But I'm just saying, I think it's kind of funny for myself personally. So that's why I would be excited for the end of the year. Because, you know, Q4 is coming. Whoa, you know, buzz fucking opportunity there. Blah, blah, blah. You know, this.
Well, Adrian, there's this one guy that's 100% convinced you're Elon right now in the comments.
There are many people who are.
Multiple of those people. Yeah.
Honestly, man, at this point, if you seriously think that this is what this is, I don't know, man. But seriously, there's no way. There's actually no way. I get it. I understand. I really do. It's funny. Nobody denies that that's funny.
What will you do?
Except some people think it's offensive as fuck. But it's funny.
What will you do
That's
if
on him, man.
he's the sound of his own voice and you have to change your voice? What if he pays you to change your voice to something else? So people stop.
I don't fucking know. You know what we're gonna do if that ever happens? I'm gonna unironically talk like this all the time. Mommy, feed me. Like that, okay? Like that clip that we have in the Discord server. It's gonna be exactly that shit.
That was epic.
Hello there, welcome to the conversation. We're gonna talk like this unironically the whole fucking time. It's gonna wreck my voice, but we're gonna do it.
Yeah. I'll join.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come join us Saturday
it's the night and it's also live, but we're not gonna test it, but we're gonna get our cocks out. Yes, absolutely. We take sword fights to the next level.
Oh damn, I don't.
The awkward silence makes it so much better. Okay, somebody say we have no financial interest in this. Andre.
I just joined at the right time, huh?
Fucking hell, man. Drop the ball on that. Just kidding. How are you doing?
Good. How you guys doing? What are you guys talking about?
At this point, I think like the structure of the conversation kind of like left the building in a sense. To the point where it just basically are chilling and having random conversations wherever they lead. We had some really good philosophical stuff that we were talking about earlier. Not even philosophical, but even diplomatic in nature. Somebody threatened to, eliminate the people on stage here with 400 bullets. A lot of interesting stuff, man.
Wait, I missed that one.
Wow, I missed that.
fucking happened.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Andre.
Let's just say we've been having a lot of fun, man.
Thanks, Elliot. Merry Christmas, everyone. Good to see you guys.
Elliot is not included in the thread, okay? He's fine. He's okay. He's safe. Nobody go after him. He doesn't have a fault. Yeah, it's not his fault. Oh my god. I'm a fucking head of because the weather systems fucking suck this time of the year.
So, stuff like that, when people like get so angry and worked up, always reminds me of Russell Brand when he made the show. He's like, dude, if you're watching telly and you get really worked up about what's on the telly, switch the goddamn channel. Like, or look somewhere else. Come on.
Or the infamous Tyler the Creator meme, which I cannot quite recite.
Oh my god.
I'm sure many people are aware. That's more of a classic.
Oh yeah, 100%.